Hello everybody, this is me, Greg, and I was just thinking I haven't spoken to you all in a while, so I thought let me just give you a hey, what's up? It's a purple light behind me, as you can see. That's the Hall of Science over there. And behind me on my right side is the Citi Field. And so I just wanted to talk about a couple of things, and I just figured I'd say hey. One, I talked about, I got a chance to go apple picking with my dad and my stepmother last week, and it was really good. My wife and kids also came, and so we got a chance to spend some time together. And one of the best things about it was that we all just kind of sat down, and we were able to just sit and talk. And we sat down in the middle of the apple orchard, and we had the blanket, and we just sat down amidst all these apples. And I don't know why I want to share it with you. I just thought it'd be kind of cool for you to hear it. So I thought, hey, why not? The next thing too was it's been really good. The last couple of days have been great. Got a chance to do a lot of things with the family. We've been rewatching certain videos. Like I've been watching videos from my when I was a kid, much younger. I had it where I was we watched Aliens. Watched the show Aliens. I watched Aliens with my kids, and it was the ones edited for TV. So it's pretty much the one that's like not just so it had all the curses and stuff removed, and so we were able to watch that. And the kids were like totally blown away by it. They thought it was such a cool show. So then after that, I started watching V. The one from ABC with pretty much Nara and not Nara, but Morena, I can't pronounce her last name. I think it's Baccarin or something. And so what happened? She was the one in the same one that was also in I guess Deadpool. But anyway, so we were able to watch the first season of the ABC's V. And so my kids still totally were blown away by that. So every other night when I got home, we'd run home to see it. And we got through the whole first season. So now we're going to go into season part 2. And so season 2. And so there's this thing called Project Alice, and Project Alice wanted to bring it back, but that was so many years ago now that it's just forever away. So that's just one thing there. Next thing too is you have a thing where I got a chance to just spend time with watching it with them, and they totally enjoyed it. They totally enjoyed it. And what was cool about it was that they got a chance to actually just see and talk and hear about it. And then they talked about how deception was, how they controlled the media. They talked about how they were very much the stuff that we always watch, how they control the media, how they control the narrative, how they were doing good stuff to further trap people, get devotion from them. Very, very much like the elite and everything like that. So I'm crossing the street right now, and they're behind me, Citi Field, you can see. Anyway, so yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyway, so then after that was we've been just watching, so when I get home tonight, hopefully there will be a chance to watch V season part 2, so I'm looking forward to that. The next thing too is we're looking at just a lot of different things. I'm gonna walk from here. I'm just gonna get out and walk, because it's this is a hill, and it's always a problem for me to try and walk up this hill and ride my bike at the same time, so I'm just gonna walk and talk. Anyway, so yeah, I have a friend of mine, and she went over to Romania, and so we prayed for her, and that's really cool. And she knows who she is. Hopefully she's listening. I hope she is. Just wish her all the best. I hope that everything's going well for my friend. Then another friend, let's see, what else we're doing. We were hoping to go to, another friend was going to come visit me tomorrow, but on Sunday, but it didn't work out, unfortunately, because, things don't work out sometimes. But we're looking forward to having a great week. I've been putting together some different masks and things like that for the kids, for the homeschooling. So that's going to be cool. See how that's going to turn out. See, where I work in my job, we have unlimited cardboard, so that's always good to be able to put together things like that. So that's I've been thinking about we got a chance to meet some friends. And we've been talking about on a serious note that it's very important to connect with people. As much as you can, spend time talking to people. I was the other day I went to Subway to eat some sandwiches, and when I got there, it was one of my friends from before. From my friends from long time ago. And what happened was that we got talking, about things. And it was I hadn't seen him since it was almost 10 years, so I got a chance to go on 10 years of memory lane with him. And last time we met, we were playing chess together, and so I like to play chess. And yeah, he beat me really badly in that chess game, but it was great. I remember that beating. The other thing was that you have a thing where it's always good to when you get a chance to meet up with people, talk with people, just keep talking with them. Don't try and keep up with them as much as you can. Get to know them, spend some time with them, because this thing about social media here, what people are trying to find is that connection, that happy connection, where you get a chance to talk to people and get to know somebody, and you pretty much, if you watch my videos, you pretty much know what kind of person I am, and what are things that interest me and things that I'm concerned about, So it's October, today's October 5th, It's going to be October 6th, in like 2 weeks, in my birthday. So I'll be 41. Wow, 41 years old. So it was cool being able to see in like such a long time, like in 10 years. This has happened. Oh, I gotta tell you about my life. More stories. You know, one of the things that came up in our conversation. Ooh, don't want to get by this car. That was quick. All right. Across the highway. Ooh, gotta run. All right, cool. So made it across the highway. Didn't get run over. Okay, so oh my word, there's so many things to talk about. It's very noisy over here. But let's say, for example, we went through a lot of different things. Here's some thoughts that are like not so random. But once upon a time, I wanted to be a paleontologist, right? I wanted to be a I saw this movie. It was Christopher Reeve was speaking, and he was talking about dinosaurs. It was claymation, and it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. My sister, my older sister, she totally ruined it for me. Because when I watch these things, just know, pretty much that if you watch the thing, she was telling me that if I didn't burp, but if I didn't burp at the right time, what would happen is that my head would explode. My older sister did so many things to me, oh my goodness, I love her so much, my older sister. And so she told me these things, so I watched the whole movie. I spent the entire time watching this movie, and like, forced myself to burp. I was afraid my head was gonna explode. Well, thank you, my older sister. All right. Anyway, so when I watched it, it was like, I wanted to be a paleontologist. Well, I wanted to study dinosaurs, and started looking into the whole thing of dinosaurs because that episode where Christopher Reeve, you know, everybody knows Christopher Reeve, he was Superman. He was the first Superman, well, not the first, he was the second, I guess, Superman. Because there had been so many different Supermans. It was George Reeves, and then it was him, George Reeve, and then Christopher Reeves. And what they did was that they did like the Superman image, and he pretty much got typecasted as Superman for the rest of his life, right? Anyway, long story short, that voiceover commentary thing of dinosaurs and claymation just won me. I didn't know at the time that it wasn't the dinosaurs that I liked at that point. It was the animation of dinosaurs that I liked, which took me a number of years to figure out. Anyway, so incidentally, that led me to wanting to have dinosaurs for pets, which ended up being like, you know, I was gonna have like I had to have lizards for pets, and you know, lizards are not dinosaurs, but they're reptiles, and here you have it. And anyway, so the thing what happened with that was like, I wanted to be my lizards kept getting sick, so I wanted to be a lizard doctor. And a lizard doctor, what he does is that a lizard doctor has to, you can't just be a lizard doctor, you have to be a veterinarian. And that's when I went to my high school, and got involved in pre-veterinarian classes and things like that, which wasn't like the full deal, but we were able to experience work with large animals, you know? Let's see, we were able to work with and spend time with large animals. Large animals being, we got to work with cows, got to work with horses, got to work with lizards. Work on a dairy farm I did for about 3 months, or two months, almost 3 months. And so, incidentally, what happened was that I met a veterinarian there to be a veterinarian, and to be a lizard doctor, because I like dinosaurs. And what ended up happening was that I met a veterinarian, and he hated his job. He totally hated it. I said, how is it being a veterinarian? And he was like, blank, blank, blank. And we were working on a cow at that time. He and I were working on a cow. Like, he had the cow upside down in a gutter, and we had to cut a square section in the stomach. Because what happened was the stomach was something that got caught in the cow's stomach, so it had to be like manually readjusted, I guess. We were working on that together, and that was a great time for me. I totally loved that. I thought it was the best thing. And I was covered in hay. I was covered in hay and cow stuff, you know. And what ended up happening was that I asked him how it was being a veterinarian, and he absolutely hated it. He absolutely hated his job. He told me that, you know, he hated it. He said blankety blank blank blank, you know, because I don't curse, so, you know, pretty much you will hear me cursing. So, but the thing was, like, you know, when he said that, he said about how he hated the fact that, you know, that no matter what you do, the animal's still gonna die. It may not die right now, but it's gonna die eventually. And then when it dies, you know, or when it gets sick, you know, you'll do your best whatsoever, but, you know, you gotta, like, come to grips with life that the animal's going to be sick and you're going to have to put it down. And I was like, whoa, I don't like that idea. So yep, that animal's going to be sick. You're going to try the best you can to help it. And eventually, you're going to have to put it down. And the other thing he said that sometimes people would come in and they want you to put their healthy animals down. And that for any reason they didn't want anybody else to have it. Have their pets, And I was like, that's not cool. He went through about how much school costs. He talked about, the fatigue, the sadness, the toll it takes on you. Told me a whole bunch of stuff. He went through the whole 9 yards. He totally gave me the full picture. And like how people, they tell you how they, don't go to this school or don't become a lawyer because if you do, they'll come get you or something like that. People tell you things like that. So this is one of those situations where he kind of said, well, if you're really dedicated in doing it, but he didn't say it like that. He was more like, he said he hated it. He wish he had done something else. And he was upset the fact that people didn't want to pay him. He had bills he had to pay that were mounting. The school debt was great. He said a whole bunch. He did everything he could possibly think of to why he hated it. So he didn't tell me why he loved it. He told me what he hated about it. So that's what I was stuck with. So at that moment, I asked God to give me wisdom as to what to do because, you only live once, If you believe you live more than once, but that's double the pain if you do that. You live once. And if you live once, I just wanted to say that, I want to do something that's going to be worthwhile. So God, please help me. And I remember back in, that was 1995. 1995 for you people, realize how old I am. I was 16 at the time. In 1995, well, almost 16. I was like more like 15. Anyway, so the thing was like, I was there, and when I got up onto that hay bale, I asked God, what do you want me to do with my life? I know I'm walking. Why am I walking in the street? I need to get on the sidewalk. What's the point of walking in the street? I'm not riding my bike. I'm just walking on the side, just trying to risk my life. Anyway, so what happens is this. You have this scenario where I asked God, what would you have me to do? And then I thought about, people medicine and becoming a jungle missionary, like a medical missionary. I've always liked tribal stuff, I always like things that are tribal. And, I come from a rainforest island, so rain my thing. So I thought, hey, why not? It would be something to be good to go into. So I thought before I go to med school, I would go to Bible school. So on my way to Bible school, I was able to meet ministries and things, and I thought, that pretty much I had to say bye to my old. Because what happened when I was 7 years old, right? I used to share the gospel. I tell people about Jesus from the time I was 7 years old. The gospel is that Jesus died for our sins. He was buried. God sent his son. Jesus died on the cross for our sins. He was buried. And 3 days later, he rose again. And that, he rose from the dead. This is the gospel. If you talk about his death, that's part of the gospel. Talk about his resurrection, that's part of it. Altogether, Jesus, God in the flesh. He was born. He lived a perfect life. He was buried, and 3 days later, he rose again for our sins. So this is where it's like the good part about it all, So anyway, so that's what happened in terms of like my what I would share. So I was sharing that when I was 7 years old. From the time I was 7 years old on. So when I got to school, when I got to Bible school, I wanted to become a medical missionary, and I got involved in a ministry of outdoor street preaching, street preaching ministry, which turned out to be really good. I really liked it, We did it for many years. Incidentally, through it all, I was able to become a missionary with that organization, and after that, I worked with them for a number of years, and it turned out to be great, Turned out to be a great situation, but I liked it a lot. And then incidentally after that, my dad said I should go back to, after I became a missionary, my dad said I should go back and get more schooling because you never know how this world turns out. So I listened to my father, and we went to school, and that's how I met my wife. And I met my awesome wife, Amy. And so had I not listened to my dad, I wouldn't have met my wife. So had I not met my wife, I wouldn't have my children. So there you have it. So the majority of stuff is that, you have it where, for example, it's good to listen to your parents, when your parents tell you stuff, because you never know where it might lead you. So I met my wife. We weren't able to raise our support. We went to many churches. We tried to raise our support. We weren't able to do it. We got let go. We went working with a local church, and then from the local church, we saw the inner workings of church politics. And that, my friend, is a huge story. I can tell you a little bit about it before I get home, but one of the things is that, people, there's an aspect where you're supposed to learn about how to communicate, You're supposed to communicate with God yourself and read your Bible and pray every day and spend time getting to know Him. And what ends up happening is that people tend to look to people for reassurance. I think we have it built in that we want to worship and we want to be able to have some kind of honoring people beyond our own capacity. So instead of trusting sometimes our own judgment or kind of weighing things out and having faith, like many times in the Bible, God wants people to have faith. So what ends up happening is that when you have faith, He really honors you for that. So He gives you more faith and gives you more challenges and gives you more stuff to do, which takes a step. Like one step leads to two steps or three steps, like a baby. Eventually, when you have done so many things, you've gone so much further, you have so much faith in that the next step is going to be as good as the steps before. Trusting that, God is the one, like Peter walking on water, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, so that was one of those things. So anyway, so what happened was we worked with a local church for so many years. And then one day we had questions, We had questions about some of the things that we were going through. And we read this book called Pagan Christianity. Oh my goodness, what a good book. I recommend reading it. It's by a guy named Frank Viola. And he wrote a book called Pagan Christianity. So if you get a chance to read it, because it talked about like how many things that you find involved in the church is not based upon the Bible, based upon the culture of the day, based upon paganism, and not rooted in the Word of God. So you have people who are following and dogmatically doing things that are not based upon God's Word, based upon man's culture. And so the thing is, like, there's a lot of things. I mean, you can identify and say a couple of 100 things like that, but the majority of things what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of things that we hold to. We swear spiritual, but they're not spiritual at all. So anyway, so when we figured that out, we told a couple friends who told the pastor of the church, and he wanted to make sure we weren't no heretics, went and preached 5 messages against us. I kid you not, 5 messages. So at that point we were like, you know what? This isn't cool, because one, he came over to talk to us on that one night, and I'll never forget that. When the first time I met the guy, he said to me how, he said, oh, he supports me and believes in what I'm doing. I remember the very last time he was like, oh, I don't think you're a missionary. I don't believe that you're, The very last thing, one time I had no idea what we were going to talk about. But he's like, oh, I don't believe in your work, that you're a missionary. And it was such a hard hit, Such a hard hit. The guy's such a jerk. I'll say it, yeah, the guy was such a jerk. Because, you know what? You don't go doing it to people, Believing in somebody and then later say you don't believe in them. It was horrible. Very horrible. And so, for so many years I actually had that, hidden in my heart. Just saying, I can't believe that, I trusted this person with so much of my respect, and later to find out, he's such a jerk. Okay, well, anyway, so, long story. Maybe one day I'll dive into the depth of that. But nevertheless, personally speaking, I had another situation where went to another church building, and we found out, well, this was before we were at Pagan Christianity, but I remember one time when one of the pastors, in his hubris, said something when the church had a problem with him. He said, we are the leadership and you're to obey us without question. He actually said that, He said, we are the leadership and you're to obey us without question. That was the worst thing I'd ever heard anybody say, because he was saying that we're totalitarian. You believe me or else. And I was like, that's the one when we were done with it. We said, you know what, no. I'm going to go read my Bible on my own, which I've been doing for years. I'm going to go spend time with people who care about the Word of God. I'm going to go spend time with, people trying to reach people for Christ, not have their agenda or their business agendas or whatever, trying to build their super churches and all that stuff, or their little micro churches or whatever, or their micro kingdoms, whatever they're trying to do. So instead I was like, you know what, I'm just going to let it be. I'm going to leave them alone, let them have their kingdom. I'm going to go do my own thing, spend time with my family and my kids, and just go ahead and just meet people wherever they are. Because you know what, there's a thing called a personality cult, and people tend to follow people because they like people, And then also a thing where people just, in a sense, not just follow people, they like to worship people. And I don't think that's cool. I think everybody is fallible, everybody has issues and stuff. But when people begin to forget that they have that, that's where it's it gets all messed up. So how this ties in back into everything, I got involved and just wanted to do something that would be worthwhile. I thought I would get involved in people medicine. And I did get a chance to go to Haiti, and it was really good. I got a chance to be able to go to Haiti and do a medical ministry out there. I'll show you pictures at some point. I got videos on my YouTube channel. I never really made it public, but I mean, I have a whole bunch of videos and stuff of when we went there in 2009. So that's like so many years later, so many lifetimes later, of things have happened. You know, being able to actually go and do a medical trip, and it was great. I absolutely loved it. You know, I'll never forget one time when I was there, I met a bunch of people, and we got a chance to help them. We got to make some shoes for them and give them water and help them and bandage up their wounds and stuff. And it was great. I mean, it was absolutely great. The sad part was like, you know, it's like, you know, I've how they're doing and where they've been and how they've been going. So that's one of those things where I just hope that maybe one day again in the future, maybe we'll catch up with them. But for the most part, though, it's one of those things where I think it'd be good to see them again. They want to stay. They wanted to come by and be like a director down there for them and to work with them. And I said no. Because what happened was, like, you know, I couldn't speak the Creole. In my home country, we speak Patois, and Patois is like Creole, but it's different, and I didn't be able to speak it because I don't know the language, you know. So at that time, it was just my wife, and we had it was two of us. 2009, we had two, and Chloe was just about to be born, and so I was able to go there, and it was sad to be able to, you know, it was just sad to just not go back again. I wanted to go back, and then in 2009, it was right after the hurricanes. 2010 was when we had the earthquake, and that big old heavy earthquake that did some serious damage. I'd never seen such a beautiful place and such a sad place at the same time. You know, I know, just talking random stuff, but for the most part, this is a lot of things in my life. So, timeline, so much stuff in the timeline, but for the most, what I wanted to say tonight was just that, as I'm almost walking home, it's like one of those things where, you know, you just enjoy life, spend time with people, you know, get to learn stuff from people. I mean, it's a great time to spend time with my dad, and my dad's been like a really interesting person in my life. He's the one who led me to Jesus when I was 7. He was the one who he's taught me a lot about carpentry, but he taught me how to drive and the Bible. Taught me some serious things that I've been using, you know, a lot, you know. And so my mom taught me about compassion. My dad taught me about how to, my dad taught me how to be very careful with people, you know. So it's not good to invite everybody in. Sometimes it's good to, you know, keep people out. And I had a story on that about inviting too many people into your life, but I'll save it for another time if I remember to share it again in the future. But this is kind of a personal blog, so what does that have to do with anything? I just want to share and talk with somebody as I'm walking home. You know, not that I needed to walk and talk with somebody, but just thought it'd be kind of good just to share with you, because normally I just ride on my bike and just, you know, sometimes they say it's good to to let your mind rest for a little bit, and you have so many things pent up inside your head, just let it out, let it all out, you know. So for the most, I'm still working on my Dinosaur Canada story, so don't give up. You know, if you're watching my Dinosaur Canada stories, they're still there on Instagram. It takes a while to render everything because you have a story, and my computer is like completely bogged down. I have like 1,000 episodes, you know, so I mean that's a lot of episodes and a lot of memory space to be used up there. So, and also each one is like a minute. To render stuff is like a minute, and so yeah, that's one of those things. So I just want to thank you so much for listening. I'm almost home now, so just want to say thank you so much for, you know, just listening and wow, 24 minutes. My goodness, it's a long time. So I'll try and do another one during the daytime. Thank you so much for listening again. Like and subscribe, and, you know, push comments. You know, just kind of things about, you know, if you have any questions you want me to talk about specifically. You know, just right. So here we go. Oh, I have a praying mantis at home. I'll that to you at some point. We got that a couple weeks ago, but more about that another time. So have a good night. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.